cultural documentarian working on a project based on the Green Book, which was a travel guide that was published for Black people during the Jim Crow era. It serviced not only Black migrants who were leaving the South during the second wave of the Great Migration, but also Black entrepreneurs, celebrities, and all kinds of folks who just wanted to take vacation like every other American. By 1962, 2 million people were using the Green Book. It was the Bible of Black travel. And that largely speaks to just how critical it was for safety. For instance, Sundown Town was a place that was all white on purpose, and if you were Black, you were not allowed after 6 p.m.
Now, think about what she just said. It feels like we're watching something from another dimension or the Twilight Zone, but this happened in our own United States of America in a lot of different towns in the South that were exceptionally segregated. Our minds now in 2025, we just can't even wrap our head around what that's like, right? But this was happening even 60 years ago, which I know to you guys seems like forever long, but in the span of history, how long is 60 years? It's a snap.
So my students spent the beginning of class today learning a little bit about the Green Book, which they actually were able to read a nonfiction article about that back in 4th grade. So they came in with a little bit of prior knowledge, which was great. And the Green Book really focused on a literal green pamphlet that was produced for African Americans during the 1940s, 50s, and 60s to kind of provide a mode of safe travel along Route 66, as a lot of cities and states were very segregated, were not willing to open restaurants, hotels, etc. for African Americans that were traveling. And I thought it would be a great lesson for them for Black History Month, mostly because I think it's something that they don't have a lot of reference toward, and it's kind of a part of the Black history, maybe a experience for them that they can maybe glean a little bit more from, because they can all relate to, traveling and walking in anywhere they want and ordering something or getting a hotel room wherever they want, and to have the idea that you couldn't do those basic American vacation kind of things. For most of them, it's kind of shocking. And so I'm really excited to see what they end up doing with it. They're going to create an infographic about some of the different pieces that go along with the Green Book, Route 66, the ability to travel, and what segregation really and how it impacted African Americans during this time.
The Green Book is a travel guide for Black Americans that didn't know where to stay because of the segregation, and there wasn't many places that were welcoming and full of safety.
And why was that so important?
It was important because if there wasn't a Green Book, a lot of people would have died because of violent encounters.
This is probably gonna sound like an obvious question, but why would this kind of thing even have needed to be a thing? Victor Green started this in the late 1930s, but why even was this needed? Matthew?
Because lots of places are not safe for African American people.
Okay, if you lived in Illinois in the 1930s and you were an African American person, would you have had access to a lot of places? Okay, probably more than what we think, but the further south you traveled, the more segregated it got.
I just think it's really important for students to continue, I guess, maybe to be exposed to different stories like that, because the further away that we get from some of those times in history, it's easy to forget, and it's easy to get to a place where we kind of don't always give those experiences the credence that they need. So I'm anxious to see what they come up with, and I'm anxious to see the connections that they make, and the best way to not repeat difficult moments in history is to learn about them so that, we don't go back to those places.
So first we're looking through these different websites just to learn about it a little bit more and to kind of understand it a little bit better. And then what we're going to do is we're going to collect all that information and write it down so that we can remember it. And then we're going to try and make an infographic about it that better explains the use and the meaning of the Green Book.